Okay, so here's our setup for water. We're going to do additions of our hydrochloric acid to just the water. So I've gotten a 100 milliliter beaker and labeled it for water. I'm going to add about 50 milliliters of water to this. And before I add my pH electrode, I'm going to clean it up. And then dry it off. And then let me actually put this in a different slot, and then we'll just drop it in, making sure to cover that disc again. And I'm going to let this stir. So after a very long while, and it's still kind of jumping here, our pH of water is about 6.3, 6.31. This is close enough. Since it's distilled water, there's not very many ions in here, so any acids or hydroxides that are in there can really make the pH read fluctuate a lot. So what we'll do now is just get a base read from also a pH strip. So here that is. See, it's already jumped down to 6.21 just from adding that pH strip. So the little bit of stuff that might even been on the pH strip just comes off. So I would record the initial pH as 6.3. And now we're going to add about 5 milliliters of our hydrochloric acid. We'll stir. We'll give this a second to settle out. All right, looks like we're probably sitting at about a pH of 1.98. So after adding a total of 5 milliliters of our 0.1 hydrochloric acid to water, you can see already the pH is not moving like it was before. So that's just to show you the nature of distilled water can really, the pH can just really wildly vary. So yeah, we're ending at 1.97 after 5 milliliters added. So we're going to add 5 ml more of the 0.1 HCl. We'll stir again. And that should be good. So now we've added 10 mils of our 0.1 HCl to our water. And the pH is still settling, but it looks like it's around 1.71. Actually, looks like we're at about 1.70. Now I'm going to add 10 ml more of our 0.1 molar HCl. Turn on our stirring. And that should be good. And it seems to, we're now at 20 mLs HCl total added to this. Looks like our pH is still working on settling down. Looks like we have settled at 1.48. We're going to add 1.47. We're going to add 10 ml more of the 0.1 molar hydrochloric acid. Get the stirring going again. And initially here we're about 1.36, 1.37. However, we're going to have to transfer to a bigger beaker at this point. So after transferring to a new beaker here, we look to be sitting at a pH of 1.34. I'll take this opportunity to check with my pH strip. Yeah, you can see that it's getting pretty dark there. We're darker than 2, but not quite red. So 1.34 seems about right according to our indicator strip. Alright, so let's add another 20 mils of our hydrochloric acid to this. Turn on our stirring. Give that a moment to settle down. Okay, so after 50 mLs total of our 0.1 molar HCl being added to just distilled water, our pH is at 1.23. So our pH is at 1.23. We're going to add the last of our hydrochloric acid to this. It's 50 mLs. And then we'll stir. That should be good. We'll wait for this to level out. So after adding a total of 100 milliliters of our 0.1 hydrochloric acid to just distilled water, our pH is 1.04. And I'll give you one more read on the pH strip here. This time we should see a pretty big difference between what we saw. Let's actually turn the stirring on for this. Between what we saw at 2 and what we're at now. Yeah, it looks a bit darker. All right, so let's move on to our sodium hydroxide and buffer setup.